Hello, people. Tonight we have Tony here. And I know that's quite a surprise because everybody thinks Tony and we go at it. And you know what? We just have a little every once in a while, but it means nothing. And the main reason I have Tony here is because this is going to be a regular interview. And I want people to understand yesterday that people were to tell me who I can have on my show and who I cannot have on my show. No one's going to do that. Yeah, I went on to the show last night and they were saying, "Oh, you're talking to Tony, and why do you have him on?" It's none of their business. I wanted to ask you a question.
I missed that. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, that was about 2:00 in the morning last night, and
really,
yeah, he wound up erasing the show. Whenever I do well on a show, he always erases it. And I said,
"Who's
to him,
he?
What's his name? The depression guy. What's his name?
The depression guy.
Yeah, the guy who's always depressed.
You're talking about
Vinny.
Vinny.
Yeah.
Vinny nervous.
So Vinny gets nervous, and what he does, the first thing he does is he erases the show because he didn't like the result of it. A bunch of guys jumped me, and they didn't do too well. And so what they basically did is they erased the show.
Really?
Yeah, they erased it he erased it like 5 minutes after he got off the air.
I tell you, I was asleep early last night.
Well, I want to ask you something. Today, FBS was on his show, and he was going off on Tom. He was saying that
Tom.
Yeah, basically he was saying that Tom is pandering to you because you threatened Tom's baby, and he said that Tom should be ashamed of himself for pandering.
I never threatened Tom's baby.
Well, that's what he was saying. Can you tell us about that? Yeah.
FBS is so full of shit. I never threatened Tom's baby. I made a dumb remark like I hope it comes out retarded, but that's not threatening his baby. You know what I mean? Right. And it was a stupid, tasteless remark that I made out of anger in the heat of a moment that, Tom knows I didn't mean it. He knows how I get when I'm fucking frustrated. I can't believe that this guy's attacking Tom now because, this morning, all I said was Tom wants to make a deal. I read his text out loud, but I never called Tom. Tom never spoke to me. All right? I don't have nothing to say to Tom anymore. So, you know what I mean? Like, I laid out what I would like to be done. Boycott FBS until my birthday, from now to my birthday. That's all I laid out on my live show this morning when Tom was texting me, let's make a deal. I voiced my deal out loud without talking to Tom at all. So whatever happened from there on, I have no idea. But as long as I don't hear any chatter from his crew, you know what I mean? I watched the show that FBS had on last night at 4:00 this morning.
Right.
And I caught it fucking amusing. I think Joe, the way Joe came out, Joe was the starter, and the way he came out with, I had a grateful Thanksgiving. I was able to put my teeth in and eat my turkey right there. I was like, oh, here we go. And then, he did it like in such a way. I can still laugh at it because he's not a clown, you know what I mean? But he can be a clown. And,
right.
I'm all about different personalities. You got a different personality. I got a different personality. You got a way of saying things. I got a way of saying things. Joe's got a way of saying things. Vinny's got a way of saying things too, but Vinny sounds a little more, I don't know. Something about Vinny reminds me of a fucking English teacher I used to abuse in 6th grade. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's an automatic abuse thing for me and him. Yeah, I can't help it.
Why do you think Vinny erased the show last night? And it was a good show. It made no sense to me why he erased it. It was a really good show.
I didn't see it. I heard about it. I mean, I got a lot of.
He would have got a couple thousand views, and he took it down under pressure. So I understand these guys.
Well, I don't know. I didn't see the show. I only saw the FPS show, and you know, Vinny was trying to play like, he knows something I don't know, and he's going to be down here with cameras. He's going to get, something's going to happen to me this week, and it's like,
the captain said is that Joe's wife asked Vinny to take it down. Now we got the wives involved. I mean, come on, guys, let's leave our wives out of this stuff.
Well, the wives wear the pants. The wives wear the pants in the Horseman families. I mean, they all got the jeans on, and the guys all wear skirts. You know what I mean?
Thank you, Tommy K.
Right. I mean, the way I see it, it's a never-ending thing with the wives and this and that. And they make themselves vulnerable by voicing it like that. You know what I mean? Like, they shouldn't bring their wives into it, but they do. And when they do that, it leaves open game. You know what I mean? I never brought my mother into anything except for, saying that it didn't work out, I'm going to move out. I never, my mother's my mother. It's not my wife. You know what I mean?
So, are you happy with your show? I mean, I feel like you have a good relationship with the people on your show. They help you out financially. Are you satisfied with your show? I mean, have you made friends off of it and stuff?
I made a family off of it, and
thank you, Angus. I appreciate it.
I love my show only because of my subscribers and friends. You know what I mean? My friends and my subscribers make the show because they all got their own personality. They all have their own opinions. And the one thing that we all have is our own sense of humor. And we don't get butthurt over anything I say or they, the only time you get gassed on my show is when you're saying stupid shit like I'm a drug addict or I'm a faggot or, they're saying the same things FBS would say. They're simps for FBS. If they're going to come on my show acting like a simp for FBS, they get gassed. If they come on my show and they make a joke, they stay. You know what I mean? Like,
there's a big question going on right now with you. Josie has been talking to you for the last couple of days. I mean, are you and Josie working things out?
Well, Josie and me, I think we worked it out. I mean, she made it clear to me that she's her own person, that nobody controls her. Then I made the wrong assumption that she was a lefty nut job, Black Lives Matter lover, and she's not. She's her own woman. She's got a personal problem with you. I'd like to get that resolved because I would love to have her on Team Pizza along with you. And I told her today, I said she could be my Robin Quivers because she's fun to talk to and joke.
Whoever doesn't know who Robin Quivers is, she is Howard Stern's sidekick. Hey, listen, I got a surprise guest for you, Tony. You and him seem to kind of work it out, so I'm going to bring him on, and you can say hi to him. This is Jeff. Jeff, how you doing?
Good. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, JC?
Hey, I gotta respect that you. I caught a little bit of what you had said earlier. Like, I think it was either last night or early this morning, but you were like, I like how you were. I have the same opinion, by the way, how you were like, well, these guys, unlike these others, Cali G's and JC weren't backing down and being, little bitches about things. And I have the same view of you. How the heck can I not respect a guy and like a guy that is cut from that? You've got that old school cloth too. So good to see you, Tony.
Yeah, Jeff, thank you. I'm happy to see you because I heard what you said and I heard what Cali G said, and I felt honored that you guys, no matter what kind of bullshit goes in your ears about me and me here about you, and we don't know each other, we're making assumptions, we're making statements, and then, at the end of the day, we got to say, wait, we don't even know these, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah,
And
no doubt.
you
Aside from
extended
that,
the
there's plenty of
outrage.
actual, morons out there and bozos out there that are blatantly attacking you, me, Callie G's, Lee. They got a whole list of us that they're going after anyhow.
And I'm going to
Guys
ask you
are
guys.
really doing something.
I want to ask you guys a question. One of the things FBS was saying tonight, he was feeling sorry for himself and saying that he doesn't understand why everything's acting so crazy, why people acting crazy. Why do you think FBS does not understand that he is also creating this mess?
He created it. He didn't. He's the one that created the mess, and he's the spin doctor. And he'll take anything I say, chop up my videos, and put his 2 cents in and spin it with his sick psychology. Now, hold on. I gotta put my window up because these assholes with their mufflers down here. Everyone's got a loud fucking muffler. All right. So FPS likes to spin everything and make his own analysis on what he thinks of me, or what he think, like everything that must be said to him, he brings it out on me. Like he doesn't have a job and he's a bum and his family doesn't like him. He's an outcast. All right. He went to rehab. He moved in with this broad, and he's got this facade going on with the YouTube people. He's got some people tricked, and he's got to keep himself on top. So when I came out with my Sammy the Bull tape, the first tape, and he came out with the fake fucking FBS thing saying that I'm a fraud, can't find nothing on me, I don't exist. You know what I mean? And made me come out of my, he made me attack him. So the attacks haven't stopped because I know I'm real. And this guy, he hasn't had anybody from the street that he knows, that he grew up with, anybody that fucking can sit next to him and say, yeah, me and FBS did this and that. All right. So all he could do is sit in that cubicle with the John Gotti poster. His claim to fame is being friends with Angel Gotti, which he threw her right under the bus with Jimmy Calandra one night, I heard. You know what I mean? He has no respect for anybody. Okay. He just wants views.
What do you two guys think about the fact that he basically chose him and Gunsmoke chose Jimmy Calandra over Angel Gotti? What do you guys think about that?
Not a smart business move from his, point of view. To me, he's somebody who is, trying to build up his channel because it's all about the dollar with him. And you can tell by the way he talks and the way why he attacks certain people at different times. And Angel Gotti has a lot more wealth and clout and name than Calandra. I have a feeling though that it had more to do with Angel, slowly rejecting him because she watches everything we're all doing. She doesn't always like me. She doesn't always like what Tony says, I'm sure either. But she respects that we have our set standards, and we don't hand over our balls just to anybody at any time. Whereas FBS is pretty clear that's what he does. He puts his balls on a platter for anybody to consume if he can get somewhere, and if he can't, he just starts something. So from a business point of view, it's not a wise decision for him. But I'm not trying to see him.
Do you think it's just because they're fanboys of Jimmy Calandra?
No, I think you want to know my opinion.
Of course.
My opinion is this: Jimmy did the Sammy show. He gave Sammy the Mikey Scar special for 3 days, and he got put out there. And what happened was, when that happened, I was talking to Sammy every single day on face to face on the phone, and I said, "What are you doing? This guy's nobody. He's a fucking jerk off. He's nobody. Why'd you do that?" He goes, "I feel bad for him. He's homeless. He's in his car. He don't have this. He don't have that." I said, "Well, all right. I'm homeless too, so okay. Okay, Sam. If that's how you feel, you just sent me $600. I'm not gonna sit there and knock the guy. Okay, you're looking out for me. You're looking out for this kid. Now, I can't go out like Calandria because I never cooperated and I never ratted. So Sammy didn't have the idea of making me a guest on his show because I never cooperated. I never ratted. And when we first got together, I told him I can't come on your show. He goes, I know. So, as time went by, he turned around and said, you know what? You can tell stories without getting anybody in trouble. Just talk about the dead guys. I said, the dead guys I know? He goes, yeah, talk about Tony Pep. He's dead. Talk about, but don't go crazy. Okay. He goes, I'll do a Zoom call with you, and you'll be up there like Jimmy Calandria. I said, awesome. So my first video said, I've been talking to Sammy the Bull. Boom, I got hits. Now, Calandria was already online with FBS. Okay, I was watching FBS smash Johnny A-Light like crazy, and I was paying attention to it because Angel was on there. Now, I was staying low because I know how Angel would feel about me being friends with Sammy. Right? So, FBS, he shunned me every time I say, hey, what's up? Bring me on. I'd like to talk to you. He didn't say a fucking word to me. The first thing I see from him is, you're a fake. I can't find nothing on you. I got to agree you're not real. And that's what pissed me off. Now, Jimmy Calandria went on his show twice already. And Sammy told me, don't say nothing bad about Jimmy. He's a friend. So I said, okay. And here's Jimmy, who I know Sammy told the same thing. Don't say nothing bad about Anthony. He's real. He's a friend. You know what I mean? Jimmy totally played dumb while FBS is bashing me, saying I don't know anybody.
Are you sure he was playing?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, he's, the helmet definitely was jealous that I knew Sammy better than him. See, he never saw Sammy in person, in real life. I did. I used to collect money from Sammy. I used to cut up $20,000 a week with Sammy. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Like the guy, I had 2 Joker pokers at Tally's, and I was only 19 years old. Okay, so you know what I mean? Like when I got with Tony Pep in the late '80s, early '90s, right before Sammy and John got picked up. All right, I already was moving up, to where I had $2 million deals on the table, and Sammy was going to help me get them off. And then he got picked up. So, I was so close to becoming a fucking legit millionaire and making a lot of money for the family. And that whole thing went down the toilet. And I survived 7 years on John, Tony Pep, and Sammy's bravado. Nobody fucked with me for 7 fucking years. And then Tony Pep took a dive down in Florida. They took me out of the picture down in Florida. You know what I mean? And it all fell apart. So when I came out in 2001, my life was over. I didn't know which way to go. I had nobody to go to. All right? Now, as of today, Sammy's the only living guy between me, him, and Tony Pep's son, Anthony. Right? Because Joey died last year. Right. Or actually this year, around my birthday. So, I'm going to say this. I'm not talking to Tony Pep's son, Anthony. So, Sammy's the only one that can really say, yeah, this guy's real. All right? I went 2 months of abuse with this FBS. And all his fucking followers, this guy's a fake. Where's Sammy? Where's Sammy? Sammy don't know you. You're full of shit. Finally, I woke up one morning. I called Sammy. He answered the phone. We're on the phone for an hour. While we're talking, I said, yo, you mind if I throw you on real quick and show everybody I know you? Yeah, go ahead. So everybody caught the end of our conversation. But in that conversation, he mentioned, did you hear about Frankie Locke? Did you hear about Joey Franco? We had, he's not going to say that to some guy he don't know off the street. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many facts there, and FBS still wants to come out and say, nah, it's not real. No, it's not.
Even when you did that interview with Sammy said he was talking to you the way he would talk to a son. And, one of the big differences between me and Tony and just a few others out there, Gene Borello, Hootie as well, is that we actually had real mentors that were actual mobsters. He had obviously Gravano. I had, Joe Donato, who was the acting underboss of LA, died in 2018. He retired in my area. And, Hootie had, a couple of guys who had Vinny Asaro. When those of us who were actually mentored, you know, we have our little attitudes at times. We'll do this and that, but at the end of the day, we know the right thing and what to do.
Listen, real quick, I gotta say something. Wait, 1 second. Give me 1 second, Tony. I want to say 1 second. Listen, as in the word of Jake Paul, after that debate last night, Gunsmoke, I hate to tell you one thing. I got your hat. Okay.
So, you know, so my thing with FBS is that he's just ignorant and showing like ignorance every time he opens his mouth about me, because no matter what I prove, like he wants to say my girl wasn't my girl because I didn't fuck her. You know what I mean? Like, are you fucking kidding me? You're telling me I can't date a girl for 3-4 months and not, you know, and not call my girlfriend because I didn't stick my dick in her? I mean, that's fucking crazy. I got, you know, what, you know, and if I did have sex with her, it's none of your fucking business. You know what I mean? But we're still close.
So do you see, listen, I've had my issues with FBS, and one thing I do know about FBS, he pretends he wants to stop, but he doesn't want to stop. He has no.
He can't make no money without saying my name.
No, yeah.
He can't make no money. He can't make no money.
We went through this for 3 months. And Jeff, do you think that FBS wants to really stop?
He does better. He gets more views when there's controversy. So no, he doesn't want to stop. That's why he's on the iLight now, right? Isn't that iLight's got 6,000 subs? It's a perfect target for FBS to try to go after for more clout.
Do you think they're underestimating iLight?
Yeah,
well, he went away for homicide. So yeah, they're definitely underestimating him, especially if they're, you know, wanting to, you know, challenge him to fights or whatever they're doing now. I don't keep track of all this stuff. You know, I get sent videos from time to time, but so I don't know the ins and outs exactly, but they are barking up the wrong tree if they're going after a guy that served time for murder. And now he's out.
Also, he made a statement today that iLight was a cartoon figure. You know, once again, he's underestimating his opposition. And
yeah, iLight's not the kind of guy I wouldn't mess with him. You know, he seems like a cool guy anyhow. But even if I was
like
with him, he's not the kind of guy you want. You know, I wouldn't want to fight with him.
He's a stand-up guy, and he's definitely half Italian. He was away with my friends. Okay, I got a lot of friends that were in the can with him until he got shipped out. Okay, so when he was in the can with them, he wasn't on the black side. He wasn't on the Puerto Rican side. He was sitting with us. So, you know, I'm say us because they're my friends. They're my, you know, they're my goombas. You know what I mean? And some of them are still away. Some of them coming out right now. That's where I got the real story about the John Gotti and Johnny A. Light and Jimmy Calandria deal. See, Johnny A. Light lied a little bit about it, and so did Calandria. And the real story was that Jimmy begged Johnny to switch places with him. And Johnny told him, go in there, smack him, and call him a punk, and I'll fucking switch places with you. Because they saw Jimmy fucking washing his underwear in the sink, getting his trays and putting them up, sitting in a chair, holding his chair for him.
Whose underwear was he washing? Okay, so you're saying Jimmy Calandria was washing John Gotti's underwear?
Yeah, he was scrubbing his underwear in the sink, you know, cleaning them up, you know, cleaning the boxes, hanging them up. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Like, he was begging to get out of that cell, and Johnny A. was like, you're a fucking punk, you know what I mean? Like, go over there and smack that guy, fuck him, you know? And basically, Jimmy was dumb enough to listen to him. He went in the cell like a bitch, swinging like a girl, screaming, and Gene was holding him back with one arm, saying, what the fuck's wrong with this kid? And they took him out of there, wrapped in a blanket, crying, to a special needs unit. And right after that is when Jimmy went to the 302, because he knew if they shipped him anywhere else, he's going to get abused.
Yeah, isn't that dangerous, trying to smack John Gotti?
I think it's very dangerous. I mean, Gene's no slouch, and no. You know, I'm not calling Gene a fag by saying what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, you know, Gene made him his little fucking cell bitch. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're doing all that time. You think you're never gonna get out. You know, shit happens in jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, You know, who knows? But we know that Jimmy likes to give back rubs to men while they're driving, you know, driving the cars. You know what I mean? So, you know, who else? You know what I mean? Like, what else? I mean, like, you know, come on. This kid's a fucking punk. You know, and you know, Johnny Haley was saving Jimmy's face when he first came out. You know, there's a picture of those two arm in arm smiling together. I don't know what happened. Why all of a sudden Jimmy's calling him Johnny A. Liar and going on FBS and trying to get on FBS's show when he had all that clout from Sammy. He didn't need FBS. FBS ain't from the neighborhood. FBS ain't from Brooklyn. FBS don't know anybody. He didn't grow up with anybody. He wasn't in no crew. So why the fuck would he go with FBS and not me? You know what I mean? So when I started coming after Jimmy, all of a sudden I'm getting calls from Sammy. On the first day me and you did our first show together, I got calls from Gerard and Sammy at the same fucking time. I didn't see the calls because my phone was on this fucking thing over here. And the next day I woke up and I looked at my phone. I see 3 missed calls from Sammy. 3 missed calls from Gerard. And I looked at the clock and I said, oh shit, that's exactly the time I started the video with you. So Jimmy must have called them up crying. Oh, now he's with Lee Cole. You know what I mean? Like, he's bashing me. So I called Sammy the next day and I said, oh, what's going on? He goes, oh, I thought I told you that Sammy, that this Jimmy was a friend. I said, oh, Jimmy's open game, my man. I said, Jimmy's open game. I said, hey, fuck
Jeff,
him.
Wait 1 second. Jeff, instead of popping this shit like you did last time, I'll drop you a link. Why don't you come in here and talk about Jeff? Stop talking because you're being a little bitch right now. And I offered you the link last time.
Jeff Nadeau. And look, he made a comment. Look,
yeah.
with that whole thing, Tony Pizza is not some snowflake. He is pro-America. He's an America firster. And he was getting into how he had felt at different times and, you know, whatever. But to answer your quick question there, Lee, about whether it was a smart move or a bad move to hit John Gotti, very bad. My guys tell me that he was moving all the H into McKean. And he had Mexican Mafia guys. They had his back in there enforcing the debts and everything. So if Calandra did smack him, that would. I'm surprised that something really bad didn't happen. You know.
No. Calandra never got to smack him because Gene held him back with one arm. Okay, he never smacked Gene. He attempted to smack Gene.
And I know Gene was involved with some serious shit out in the street.
If you're smacking me, guy, you're not gonna live to tell about it. Especially John Gotti.
Yeah,
John Gotti would kill him.
To tell about it. Gene was tough. Gene was 10 times tougher than John.
Hey, who got rid of DeMayo's body? Wasn't it Gene? Or no, not DeMayo. DeMayo's the guy that worked for DeMayo. The kid. Remember the kid that DeMayo shot?
Oh, Chris?
Yeah. Actually, they bought. Yeah.
They found Chris on the Bell Parkway full of holes.
And okay. Well, there was some bodies.
Chris DeMayo. Chris DeMayo got lit up on the Bell Parkway in one of those parking ride places along the Bell Parkway between Starrett City and Rockaway Parkway.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about? I'm sorry. The 3 captains that they shot.
Sonny Red and Big
Gene was involved in getting rid of those bodies. That's what I'm talking about.
You're talking about Sonny Black. Sonny Black and yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And that's my fault.
They took out Sonny Red and Big Trench, and I forgot the other one's name, but yeah, those 3.
But they brought the bodies to Gene and his crew, and they got rid of it for them. All 3 of those bodies.
I don't know about that. I have nothing to do with that. That's way before my time.
Well, I hope you had nothing to do with that.
I'm just saying. That's way before my time. I met Gene when I was a little kid sitting in a fucking social club on Seneca and Linden. All right. My friend Peter Pasta, his father had that social club. He was a bookie. And Gene used to put his bets in over there every day at the same fucking time. And he brought me to the social club to impress me, to show me that he was somebody so I would respect his son more. Okay? And I'm sitting on a bench next to the payphone on the wall, and the payphone rang. Now in Long Island, where I come from, West Babylon, when payphones rang, we used to pick them up, yo, you know, and we used to fuck with the people. So when the payphone rang over there, I picked it up. I'm like, yeah, hello. And he said, who's this? I said, who's this? And he said, I'll fucking stick that phone up your ass. I said, come on down and do it. And I hung up the phone. And everybody at that table looked at the clock, and they looked at me, and they all shook their head. And 2 minutes later, fucking Lincoln pulled up in front of the club. The door got kicked open. Who the fuck answered that phone? And they all pointed at me. They all pointed at me. And Gene looked at me, and he said, come here. And I walked over. He took me outside. He goes, you see how fast they just gave you up? Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. And he made me get on the train and go back to Long Island.
Hey,
right?
Get over here.
He said, you see how fast they just gave you up? And that's the only time I saw Gene, met Gene, and you know what? Ain't nobody ever been more of a fucking, you know, a real guy like that. You know what I mean? It's
listen, like Zeke Stenny says FBS created and propagated it to the extreme to gain from it, but it's backfiring on him now. Would you agree with that? That this is backfiring on FBS? All these feuds?
FBS he's a dwarf star headed into a black hole. He's done. He's done. He don't want to face the facts. He lies to himself thinking that he's got all these subs and all these fucking love. If he looks at my fucking page when I'm live and sees all the blue wrenches, I mean, those are just the people that have been with me since day one that I'm protecting because I got a loose wrench out there that likes to block my fucking people. Right? All the other people that are there have been there a long time too. But we all have one thing in common. What, Jeff leave?
No, he'll be back.
We all have one thing in common. The one thing that we all have in common is that we're all real. We all have different personalities. We all agree to disagree and still get along. And we all hate a lying con man. All right? This guy's come out and said, this is a business. This is a business. This ain't a business to me. I came out just to tell my story and be left alone. Because my Netflix thing, I didn't want people to see me homeless on my Netflix thing. So, because a lot of people didn't know I was homeless. Now the whole world knows I was homeless.
Well, here's how FBS is going to answer that. He's going to say, well, it's a business to you because you get a lot of money. What would you say to him if he said that to you?
What's he know what I get?
Well, because you say it, Tony.
What?
You know, you're quite honest about it.
When people send me money, I come out and say how much I make and how much they gave, and I say thank you. Now, if I was a swindle like him, I don't ever see him say how many, all the cash apps he gets. He never says how much because he's afraid that they'll stop giving at a certain point. Me, I'll say, yo, I like this morning, I made 500 today. Look at that. I showed my cash app thing to everybody. I said, look at this. I made 500 today. Holy shit. I'm not worried about people not giving.
Okay.
I'm not worried about somebody saying, oh, I don't have to give because he already got some. After I said I got 500 today, I caught 4 more people giving me $20. I got one guy that...
1 second, Tony. Anthony Luciano Ramondi. He got banned from FBS's show. But he says things about this, and this is true. FBS has made attacks on A-Light. He's beefed with Lee Cole, Tony Pizza, Jeff Nadeau, JC West Coast, I-Light Network. Let's not forget also Gunner, and probably other people I forgot about. And see, and this is true. I mean, FBS, you go after tons of people. You know, it's, you know, maybe you should face up to the fact that
he built his channel going off of John A-Light. He spent the first 2 months talking about A-Light, which, you know, at first it was entertaining, but like any act, it gets old, especially when it's repeated every day.
The thing with that was that the longer he spoke about A-Light, every time he did, he had Angel Gotti in the audience, and everybody wanted to be 1 degree from the Gottis. So they all joined in.
Sense.
I was guilty of it myself. Yeah,
right, so everybody wanted to be 1 degree from the Gottis.
Yeah.
And because he
tried to hit Hootie, he tried to hit Gene Borello, but from what I understand, Gene Borello called him up and flat out said, if you keep saying my name, you're going to be on the floor coughing up blood. And he stopped saying Gene's name after a while. So I don't know.
He didn't tell Gene,
but that's what I heard.
Well, Gene's a psychopath. I don't know the kid.
He'll flat out say he is. He likes you, by the way, Tony. So does Hootie. So just so you know, they.
Well, I like him too.
She says, "What did?"
I didn't like what I was told about him, but then I found out that was bullshit too. You know what I mean? When somebody told me that he was tying up women and children.
Yeah,
Richie says, guys, let me read this, please. Richie says Angel was what he did to Angel was disgraceful. Angel got him all those interviews with those actors. I'll be honest with you.
Did. She landed him those interviews. Yeah.
Well,
listen, Angel's a sweetheart. You know what I mean? She's 100% sweetheart. You know what I mean? She doesn't know me personally, but I watched over her for years, and she don't even know when she was in Pompano Beach, down in Florida here. You know what I mean? Like, there was a crew of us that when she walked into a club, we were all on point. We watched over her like she was like the fucking Virgin Mary. So, you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't know that. You know what I mean? And she doesn't want to, she's not going to acknowledge any of this stuff. But all I know is that she's a sweetheart. She's not a vicious person. And this guy made her a vicious person during her stay on his show. You know what I mean? I'm glad.
My issues. I'll be honest with you. I had my issues with Angel, but I was very shocked when they took Jimmy Calandra over Angel. Very shocked, to be honest with you.
Well, because I'm telling you, Jimmy Calandra got him 5,000 views.
Well, yes.
Remember, he broke 5,000 views, huh? Remember when he broke 5,000 views with Jimmy Calandra?
No, it was 4,000.
Or 4,000?
Yeah, but you know what? To be fair to FBS, he got a lot of those views. He got a lot of those people on his own. And I know this because FBS and we started out at the same time. And Joey Bazaz says, if it's not why, don't every channel take down the Cash App? Let's see how it's about money. Because people have it's up to the person whether they want to give their money away. That's what it comes down to. If someone wants to give their money away.
Joe Candela and me know a lot of the same people. All right, we didn't grow up together, but we knew the same people. We started talking, and he's like, "Yo, did you know this guy?" I said, "Sure, I did." I said, "I used to sit with Danny Cataya all the time on Avenue L at Dod's coffee shop. He used to sit at Pepe and Jerry's in the back of the barber shop. I knew his kid Sal. You know what I mean? Like, Joe knows people. I know people. You know what I mean? So Joe fucking said, "Fuck FBS. I'm with you now." And he's been a good fucking help to me. And FBS, seen him on my channel, emails him, "How can you be with that racist scumbag? You belong with me over here." He's telling Joe not to give me money. Who are you to tell people who to give money to?
Yeah, and also, if he knew anything about how things were, we used a lot of non-PC colorful language back in the day. So, people can say what they want, but we dealt with every single type of group out there, whether they were Eastern European, Latinos, blacks, whatever. We dealt with Asians. We dealt with everybody. They all wanted to deal with Cosa Nostra. And, for this clown to say that he's an R word because of, he only uses a fraction of probably the language that we all said in the 80s and 90s. So,
hey, Tony, you got some kind of interference coming from you, like wind or something. Yeah.
Me? Hold on.
Probably from the window being open for smoke. But there's so much colorful language that was used back then.
It's still there, but don't worry about it.
It was directed at us too. I'm of Irish descent. I heard it all the time. I said stuff to the Italian guys, whatever. We all were great friends and we all got along. And that's one of the problems, by the way, with today's world. We can't even joke around with each other anymore without somebody who ain't even involved stepping in and saying that they're being offended by what two other people are saying.
Hey, Tony, do you have like do you have a radio going, or is your window open?
No, I know what it is. How's that?
That's
better.
Yeah. Well, it's still
Okay,
there.
it was my power inverter.
Okay.
My power inverter was making that.
Okay. Who's Bay 8th? Is that Joe?
Yeah.
Okay, Joe. Okay, so whoever's
Yeah.
seen that last night knows what happened with me and him. The guy just thinks he's a tough guy.
You know, Joe, I saw a clip of that today. Somebody sent me a small clip, and I caught a little bit of that fight where he was like screaming, "If Tony Pizza comes to my house, I got something for him." I never said I was ever going to go to Joe's house. I don't know why he was acting like that. I don't understand where he's coming from, because I never said anything about Joe or going after Joe or anything. Like, they all got onto this kick after Tom did the fake 911 thing with the Mossad soldiers and the security and the DEFCON 4. Everybody got that all fucking, all of a sudden I'm a kidnapper, I'm going after daughters, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I never said I was going to kidnap his daughter on any show or on any thread. This shit was all made up. And that's where I got mad at Tom. And, you know, I mean, if you're going to come out and say this shit, say it on your own channel. Why go to FBS's channel? He gave FBS more fuel to attack me and spin that into I was going to kidnap his kid. I'm a scumbag. I'm an evil guy. I should go down to Florida and just take this guy out myself. I mean, he forgets what he was saying about me. You know what I mean? It's FBS. You know? He forgets all the shit he talked. But then as soon as I went black for one more day, oh, I got my family's calling the cops. I don't care what you fucking people say. I need a break. I'm going to shut down. Oh, woe's me, woe's me. I'm a victim. He made $30. He said, oh, fuck this. I'm getting out of here. Good night. He got out of there. Some simps got in touch with him. Are you okay? You're going to be okay, you know. And then he came back after he took that whole fucking, because I went on there and said, you scumbag. I didn't blame you for my mother, but now I'm going to tell you. You fucking did this. You did this. He didn't give a fuck. So I was like, okay. And I got off there. So he didn't leave that video up either. He took it right down. You know what I mean? Because I made him look like a scumbag that he is.
Do you think one of the problems you have with FBS is that you're affecting how much money he makes?
I know I'm affecting how much money he makes. I know I am. I know I am. You know why I know? Because all his donors are on my channel now. And he knows it. And he can't control it. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't have super chats. So every time my cash app goes up and I say, like, Thanksgiving morning, $300. I came out, I got $300. The guy wrote, get a room for 2 days and get yourself a nice seafood dinner for Thanksgiving. Thank you. Today I woke up, the guy sent me $300 more. You know?
Nothing like lobster for Thanksgiving.
Right. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not hiding what people are giving me. I'm blasting it out loud and I'm telling people, this is what I got. When I was home with my mother for 3 days and I thought things were going to work out and I was going to stay there. I don't know why I'm frozen.
You know, these guys are funny as shit here. They have a picture of him saying I'm telling. And they make fun of me too, so
you know, so when I was at my house with my mom for 3 days and I came out the second day and I said, listen guys, I'm good. You don't have to send me money anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good. I thought I was good. I said, you know, you guys don't have to send me no more money. I'm good. My mom handed me 10 grand. I don't need your help no more, guys. And I continued to tell my story. You know what I mean? Things went bad. Things went bad. You know what I mean? And I had to leave. And this cocksucker saying his own mother don't want him. I'm a 55-year-old man. I haven't been home in years. How the fuck you did? I walked out of there. My mother didn't throw me out. I walked out.
Hey, Jeff, Hey, wait, Jeff, you keep talking shit. I sent you the link to jump in here, but for some reason you don't want to jump in here. If you're gonna say things,
he's dressed like fucking. He's got that Obi-Wan Kenobi coat on, and he doesn't want to come on with that wig, looking like a monk. You know what I mean? So, he's a fucking. He's a calzone with hands and legs. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't gonna come on here and face me because he's a fucking fat blowjob. You know, it's like the guy sits there with FPS and they validate each other. And if anybody looks at these two and go, but who the fuck are they? Who did they hang out with? Who did they kill? Who the fuck? When did they ever fucking sit in a fucking social club with anybody? Nobody. They're two nobodies.
Yeah,
validate each other. And the people that don't know anybody.
Antonio, that is Jeff, and he keeps talking shit. I keep dropping him the link, but he won't come in. So basically, he's a coward.
I mean, come on. They validate each other, and the people that don't know any better look at these two like they're Walter Cronkite and Walter Matthau. You know what I mean? Like if what they say is a gospel. I got this FPS saying I got to get co-signed. Somebody got to co-sign me. He's waiting for me to trip up and say something that can incriminate me on the fucking YouTube. I'm not that stupid.
Well, that's exactly what they're waiting for. They're waiting for you to make the big mistake.
And they keep trying to provoke you too. They have their trolls into your live chat, hoping to. One of the reasons why I even did that video back was because they made it sound like you were going to come after my kid. Then they told you I was going after your mom and trying to dox her. They're trying to trigger you at times in the chat, and I've started noticing that the other day. And I'm like, wait a minute, they're.
I actually thought that you and FPS were together with that video, and you would, because you came up and said, I read JC West Coast and said, Tony's watching you live right now. And then right after you said it, or somebody with your name said it, whoever, it said JC West Coast, Tony's watching you live right now. Right after that was posted, boom, a yellow ticket, Natalie Christie, 1099, my son's watching you right now.
Yeah, exactly. And for sure. And we always have to remember they're going to use our pictures on fake profiles, our names. Hey,
Jeff.
Stuff happens. So,
hey, Jeff, that interference might be from you. Yeah. Let me see something.
I tested it out by muting my mic, and it was still happening.
Okay.
I don't hear nothing.
Well, usually the guy causing it doesn't hear anything. Keep Jimmy's name out of your mouth or I'm calling the cops.
And they got this asshole's face on there.
Ramondi's funny. He got kicked out. He's not allowed in.
How do you tell which one's the real Ramondi?
Well, this ain't the real one, but he's been around. I never kicked him out. I'm not going to kick him out.
Every time I see this fucking clown, I zap him. I got about 20 of them in my fucking pizza jail. And I got that fucking lead pipe. I call him wiffle ball bat now. He tried to fucking give me $4 today and say, let me out of the fucking pizza jail. I said, no, the bail's 50, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you want to get out, it's $50. You know what I mean? Like, $4. You fucking backdoored me right on FBS's page where I could see it. Fuck him. Wiffle ball fucking.
Hey, Jeff, I want to ask you a question, Jeff. How come you so willingly went back to FBS's show after he said you were doxing him, and then he tried to blame me for doing it when you were doing it? Ask yourself
you're
that,
right.
Jeff.
You're right. Him and Nadeau and FBS had that issue, and now they're cool again, so they can't really say a whole lot about other people who, have issues and make up with each other either then.
Yeah, that's definitely coming from you, Tony.
This asshole saying I'm not in the federal database.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
I never said I did federal time.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is, though. Jeff Nadeau, he likes to check everybody out.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's one of these guys that checks everybody out. He checks your record out, everything. That's Jeff Nadeau.
Josie found me in my record from 2005. That's the last arrest I had. The one before that, I paid a lot of money to get it hidden. If he can't understand that, and if FBS can't understand that, then they're fucking retarded.
Hey,
yeah, he's right.
And Josie can find some shit on people.
Yeah, in California, you can, if you get the right lawyer, you can have not just your convictions sealed by the court, but some cases arrest. Not always with arrest. It's a little bit harder. But I know you can do it here. If you can do it here, you can do it in New York and other states probably too. So, that makes complete sense to me that, they're just mad because they're trying to dox and they can't get the information they want.
Hey, I put my license plate out there and the jerk goes, oh, we got him sleeping. He put his license plate out there. I'm like, dickhead, I drive around with the fucking thing on the back of my car. Anybody can write it down. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm not hiding.
All they're going to get from that is where you registered the car. Big whoop. You're on the road all the time. Good luck finding you.
Yeah.
Came down here to get a P.O. box because I don't live at that address no more.
Pizza Army says regardless of Nadu, the facts are that he was breaking bread with Sammy, the underboss of the most powerful crime family, and working under a captain named Tony Pat.
What's that? Who said that?
That's a Pizza Army soldier.
Okay. Thank you, Pizza Army soldier.
Then he says the truth, Lee Cole Nadu, running his mouth about pizza. Maybe you want to let them battle. Nadu doesn't have enough guts to come on here. He does not have the guts. He thinks he's a smart man. He thinks he can debate, but he will not come on here to debate Tony. He's more than welcome. Jeff, I'll stay out of it. You and Tony can go at it.
Hey, Jeff's too busy playing with his Star Wars figures. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't want to. That guy's got a fucking Star Wars fucking figurines on his table over there. He wants to play fucking sword fights with. You know what I mean? He's a fucking idiot. Thinks he's a bookie. Wants to act like he's some kind of handicapper. He watched fucking Casino too many times.
Jeff,
also, is somebody going to be in the federal arrest database? Okay, in my case, I've only had state California cases. Now, I know I have an FBI number because I've seen it on my my last arrest sheet. But am I really in a federal database? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. That doesn't mean that I wasn't connected. And if Tony, do you have a federal? Did you ever do federal time or state? State, right?
I'm going to say time.
Yeah. Okay.
The feds took me out in Florida. I was closing in on some rats. They set me up. I caught a gun charge. I was taken in, and they were holding me. You know they can hold you and not even, lose your paperwork, stick you in a cell, put you in a hole, and forget about where the hole is. I was in a hole for a long fucking time. All right? When they let me out of the hole, I got dropped down the state. I went in front of the judge. They wanted to give me 3.5 fucking years probation because I didn't score high enough with the gun charge.
See, I said, fuck you. I have friends who were hit with the RICO case out here in 2006, and some of the guys were moved to state because they only wanted the guys who were going to get 5 years or more. And so they moved those to the state, plus the California had the 3 strikes law, so it was sort of a bad thing to get sent to the state anyways. And so that makes sense because they do have a point system. I know from friends of mine who hit cases out here, federal. And, that makes sense. They're and the other thing, too, about them being able to hold you without charges, I know at least as of post 9/11 with the Patriot Act and all that, they were using that stuff against mob guys and others. My friends, again, in the 2006 case, they went at them and there was no end in sight with this garbage and the way they did things.
They stuck me in Mississippi for the longest fucking time. And I sat there thinking I'm only going to be there for a week or two before the van comes and gets me and brings me back to Florida. I was there for a long fucking time. And then by the time I got to Florida, they built their case. If you read Bones on the Beach, the timeline's right there in the 96, 97, 98, 99. All right? So that whole Bones on the Beach, I'm not mentioned in that book because I was already taken out of the game.
Did you read Bullet to the Bone?
What?
Did you read Bullet to the Bone?
Ray Mundy's book?
Ray Mundy's book. It was called Bullet to the Bone.
I'm not into fictional stories about the mob.
Ray
I like nonfiction.
If Tony Raymondi's the Tony that I remember from Long Island, who owned the Nightcap, a bar in North Babylon, who claims he's a fucking Colombo soldier, he's a blowhole. All right? I'll tell you right now, that's the same fucking Tony that I remember with the walrus mustache, who used to have a ponytail. All right?
That sounds like him.
He's a fucking blowhole. He's a big fat.
He's a carny, and he's just
Okay.
took his marketing act out to here.
He wasn't even a fucking associate.
Yeah.
Because he looks exactly like this Tony guy that used to have the Nightcap on Deer Park Avenue that was in a jacuzzi one night when I fucking unloaded my fucking 38 over his head. All right? So, I don't want to
Guys, I
fucking
dropped the link if anybody wants to jump in.
You know what? I bet Ray Mundy was probably getting extorted, and so that's how he's getting some of these mob stories. Because, you know, being on Coney Island, no doubt, I'm sure somebody was shaking his ass down. He wasn't keeping his carny booth for nothing.
Long Island, not Coney Island.
Okay, yeah.
Long Island.
Okay, Vinny Booth says it. Okay, let's.
I put $20,000 worth of damage in that hotel when he was having his little jacuzzi party. Tried to take my girl from me. That was my claim to fame. That was my claim to fame when I was only 19 years old. I took out 9 fucking guys that were twice my size. And anybody will tell you I did it.
I am looking at the comments, but there's so many. I can only do so many, dude. Tony, that's definitely interference from your car. When I mute you, it goes away.
Yeah.
Like I don't hear nothing right.
Just hit mute
Oh,
when
lights here.
you're not talking, and that'll solve that.
Let's see if this is the real highlight. Is this the real highlight?
Yeah, what's going on, gentlemen?
Hey, I like.
So
Thank you.
Highlight. Good to meet you.
What do you think
Hey,
about
how you guys doing?
FBS calling you a cartoon figure?
Yeah,
You
I
heard
didn't
that
get to
too?
see your debate last night. That's why I dropped in. I mean, I saw a clip of it. I'm talking about Lee Pope. It was kind of
Right.
funny, but I didn't get to see the whole thing. They removed it or something.
Yeah, they did right after I got done. Hey, I wanted to ask you a question. What do you think about them calling you a cartoon figure today? That's what FBS said about you. He said he doesn't take you serious. He sees you as a cartoon figure.
Well, to me, he looks like Kingpin from Spider-Man. He looks like a cartoon character. And also, it's a fact that the kid has no street cred. He has none.
Now
I remember when I first check it out. I remember when I first saw, little snippets of some of his live streams, and he was saying he's from Glendale, Queens, which I've done dirt in Glendale, Queens. The body that I got pinched for, was in Glendale, Queens. So the point I'm making is that then he came out like I left there when I was a kid. So that's very cartoonish. It's like trying to use a place you were born in, but you were never raised up in, just to try to give the appearance of street cred. So a guy like FBS, as I said, he has no stamina. Like, he's probably Safeways at in Pennsylvania. But that's a cartoon character. And Omerta tattoo on your arm. How much of a cartoon character? That's very cartoonish.
Yeah. Hey, Jeff, did you change your name?
Yes.
Okay, Jeff, you got Tony right here. If you want to ask Tony something, ask him. He's right here.
Well, I want to say something, but he's going to let me talk, right? He's not going to interrupt?
Yes.
Okay. So, Tony, how come you're not in the prison database if you served time?
I told you guys I paid to get that shit put away.
Right.
You don't believe that? That's your fucking fault.
But you don't have any money. Why would you do that?
We don't have any money. What do you know what I have when I get out of jail?
You live in your car. You don't have any money.
Look at this retard. Get off here. Go home. Go put up your Star Wars.
Look how mad you
You're
are.
a retard. You're a fucking
You're
retard.
corny as fuck, Tony. You're a
You're a
drain on
retard.
society. You're a drain
You're
on
a
society.
retard.
You're a drain
You're
on
fucking
society. You're
you're
not a
a
real
retard.
man. Get a fucking job, you fucking parasite.
You're just mad you can't make the money.
Well, that wasn't a debate. That was calling people names.
That was a retard. I just told him. He goes, you didn't have any money. What do you know what I jail?
And now he's going to go back to FBS and say how great he did.
Yeah.
That's
What do you know
little-
what I had when I came out of jail?
Yeah. So do you have anything else you wanted to say about all this crap going on? Because I seen that you challenged Gunsmoke. I personally told Gunsmoke that if you met up with him, I'd put my money on you.
Yeah, of course. Like, these kids are nerds, man. Like, these are wannabes. 100%.
And he's not even a kid. He's like pushing 40.
Yeah,
you know?
like they complain they make complaints like, oh, people are talking about my wife, whatever. You listen to not saying you, I'm talking about these, wannabe hip hop guys. You listen to Tupac Shakur.
Yep.
Are you kidding me? They worship rappers who say the most vulgar things. You know what I mean, about people's female relations, but only when these females involve themselves. It's like on the streets, like when they say stuff like, oh, Italians wouldn't disrespect. I don't know what Italians you grew up around. I've had Italian associates and friends that I've seen them slap women in the face in the streets, not for no reason, but for them interjecting themselves into beef with grown men and acting like they're men.
FBS. So FBS was saying last night that if he ever met up with you, that he would punch right through your body like it was nothing.
Impossible. I bet he's never even stabbed anybody. Like, I don't know what this. I'm not bragging because, as I say, I would never glorify shooting people, stabbing people, but I actually have a history of stabbing guys, shooting guys, all of the above. He wouldn't survive, and he definitely wouldn't survive in population in state prison or federal prison. If he was to go into federal prison now or state prison, and some guys have smartphones in prison, and they see stuff with him co-signing Jimmy the Helmet and these guys, he'll have a lot of problems, but he has no stamina. He cannot hang with me. He can't. So
The guy can't get out of his own fucking way.
That's laughable. Like a chubby guy who smokes Newports, who's out of shape, he wouldn't be able to handle himself.
He was breathing hard after hitting that punching bag at the game place a few months back. He hit it once and then he walked away, huffing and puffing. The thing.
Yeah, what was his score? What was his score? 129.
It's like they tell you in jail. You know how guys like to box. We have gyms in prison and we box and stuff like that. We hit the bag. It's like we say in prison or the streets, the bag doesn't hit back, my friend. So that doesn't prove anything. So even when you saw when he got on YouTube saying, I'm going to call the cops on Tony Pizza, that's what he did. My family called the cops. You're going to be on the run, my friend. That's a sissy. You could tell he grew up as a kid who was a tattletale. You could tell.
Yo, I shut up.
Okay, Ishmael and BE. What's going on, Ishmael?
Okay, I wanted to address this piece of shit.
Okay, I'm listening.
Well, that's a real nice way to greet somebody.
Bro, you're not Italian. You're not Italian.
Okay.
You are a Puerto Rican Jew.
I'm not Jewish at all. Like, where you?
He doesn't want to be.
Or you?
Yo, don't even feed into that. That was fucking Gunsmoke with a fake fucking name.
Listen, I told these individuals already. I'm in the Bronx, Little Italy area, Morris Park.
Oh,
area,
you're making your collection.
Williams.
Right?
Listen, Williamsbridge area, daily. It's easy.
And that's where you make your collection.
It's listen. Just if you think you're tough, which is hilarious to me.
Yeah, well, you know what you have. Yeah, exactly. What you have is you have some FBS simps come over here, and then they'll go back and tell them, "Oh, I went in there and I said this and I said that." But
Yeah,
really,
who's that other guy with the beard? Who's the other fat guy?
I just banned them. It doesn't matter. Okay,
Yeah, like
I rather talk to.
I'm always fine with the trolls. I don't block these guys. I look at it, it's the same thing on social media. They'll see you wearing jewelry, or they'll see you have a nice house or a car, and they'll come into your inbox like doing stuff that's considered rainbow stuff, basically. That shows you the caliber of these individuals. So that again, that fat kid, he's a tattletale. He has no street cred at all. He's like, the kid is a super nerd.
Yo, I've been on for 3 months. I never heard a dog bark in his house once. The other night, the dog was going nuts. He got up like he was scared to go answer the door.
Well, he said that's an old dog. He said he's had that dog for a long time,
He's full of shit.
and it was an old dog.
Yeah. Then why don't he show us the dog? Why don't he show us the old the 9-year-old dog that he says he's got? Why don't he bring it on the fucking camera and say, "Look at my 9-year-old dog that Tony Pizza says I just got." He can't do it. Just like Tom couldn't show the massage soldiers in his house that were protecting him and his wife.
Well, the massage is top secret, man.
Does anybody really believe that he has those soldiers? Did he really say that he had these soldiers?
Yeah, he did.
Massage. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he said he was Donald Trump that day.
Yeah, no doubt, huh?
Look, and here's another point, like with the criminal records situation, because I heard you guys talking about that. Almost everybody I've been associated with, as far as prison, guys who have prison records, the majority of guys I know have aliases. So it sounds like a good theory to people who have never been arrested or locked up or did time. The way they identify you is by your fingerprints. When you get arrested and you use a fake name or whatever, and they fingerprint you with that name and you go through the system, that's the name that stays on your jail record.
Exactly.
Or because they're able to identify you by the fingerprints. I was on Rikers Island with a black guy once whose name, which this is not his real name, but this was his institution name. The name on his jail ID, Wyatt Earp. And I used to always laugh. When we go on the visit floor, they'd be like Wyatt Earp. So,
yeah, well, when they got me, the name I gave him was Anthony Seeker. You know what I mean? And I went through Rikers Island as Anthony Seeker. But they had, when the marshals came to get me out of Rikers Island, they came and they said, "This is you, right?" They had my name and my picture on the fucking paper. So yeah. They took.
And then you have some guys who they take minor pinches and they get their stuff sealed. For example, my stepdad, when I was a kid, who was a loan shark with the Bananos. I remember when he finally got pinched. He got pinched for check fraud. Right? He got a big fine and stuff. You know how it goes when you get caught up with those type of crimes. But his name, you could search his name and it'll never pop up. But I know he was arrested for that. He was fined for it. I know because I was there. This was my stepdad. So these kids are just nerds, man. They want to come on and they think
I ended up with a simple carrying a concealed firearm without a permit. Right? They passed the 1020 law at the time. So I was looking at either 10 or 20 because I pulled it. I had one in the chamber when the cops got me. I had one in the chamber and I pulled the gun on a cop. He said, he goes, "I'm a cop." I said, "So am I." I didn't know if he was a cop or not. You know what I mean? Like he was in plain clothes. Once I saw the lights go on, I said, "Okay, here you go." I handed him my pistol. So they were trying to get me to 1020. I ended up with
the thing
3.5, 4. Huh?
Right. The thing with these
3.5, 4. First fucking charge, first fucking conviction, and they're telling me I can't get a fucking shield, right?
Yeah, and by the way, if you notice, I like me, Anthony, as well as the others that were real ones. I don't have a picture of my mentors on my wall behind me. But the guys that are fake, they got pictures of mob guys behind them. That lets you know all you need to know.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jimmy had Sammy's poster behind him, and then he took it down because we were making fun of him.
yeah, and also like what they think is like you see how you see guys like A-Light, Jimmy. I'm not gonna say Jimmy too much. I don't really know too much about whether he brags or whatnot. But let's just say guys like A-Light, they try to brag like they were these super villains in New York City. Like now, the guys like FBS, they confuse those kind of guys with guys who did, have a criminal past and they're not bragging about it. So they want to come on and try to disprove your claims. Like, bro, these guys are not glorifying it like A-Light is. So what point is the kid trying to prove? I don't think
Well, like
most
I
guys
said,
go
I never
around.
cooperated, so I can't brag. And I don't want to brag. I didn't come on here to brag about the mob. I came on to tell my story.
That's the point that I'm making. But in that kid's mind, and guys like him, they think like, I'm gonna research you and find this out. What you need to do is get off of the drugs, stuff like that. Nobody except for guys like A-Light are trying to glorify their past criminal histories. They may tell you a story, but they're not trying to convince anybody like, hey, I was the toughest guy moving and
Let me ask
so
you a
on.
question. Let me ask you a question, Highlight. Do you
Yes.
think that they would say this shit to A-Light to his face in an empty room with just them and A-Light one-on-one?
Who which individuals?
FBS or Gunsmoke?
No, those two kids wouldn't, them particularly, because again, they're nerds. You got one kid, he's in a tiny little bedroom. He's in a tiny little bedroom. He's allegedly a recovering addict. The kid doesn't have two nickels to rub together, I could tell you that. And then the other kid is somewhere living in his mom's house in his 30s. So of course they wouldn't say something like that. So other guys would and have, but they wouldn't.
Do you think that they would even say it to Gene Barillo?
No way.
No, because they like if you're from New York City and the Gene Barello era, you know better. I'm saying like if you were in Howard Beach, around it, or any of those Queens areas, you would know the truth. But
Yeah.
they worship a kid like that. Like obviously that kid, like he has some mental issues and stuff like that. I don't know. Like I've been on Rikers Island plenty of times. So they can't convince me of a lot of the stuff that they claim. So
Any of my business, if it's any of my business, you don't have to answer this. What's the longest stint that you ever did?
the longest bid I did was 12 years straight.
You did 12 years.
Yeah, so during that bid, I was on Rikers Island, of course, and OBCC, C-74, the box, of course, the Beacon box, not the Beacon box, excuse me, OBCC box. Then from there, of course, I went to downstate, that's reception. From downstate
I
to
like
5 points. Yes.
You knew Scooby?
Scooby? Nope. Not that I can recall. But I know a lot of guys. I met a lot of legends.
I mean, from Spanish Harlem. From 117 and Lex.
No, but I know where 117th and Lexington is at, though. I met a lot of legends, though.
You remember the Latin Palace?
Who's that?
The Latin Palace.
No, you have to remember too. When I did this bid, I started that bid in 2006.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, and but besides that, I've done bullets on Rikers Island and stuff like that. The first time I ever went to Rikers Island was when I was 16, and that was for like a false assault and robbery charge. Slapping up some guys that I thought were Albanians, but they were Serbians, and they all put orders of protection against me. So
does it bother you knowing that you did this real time and you got these guys insulting you, talking about how they'll beat your ass?
No, because that even happens on the streets, as any of us know. I could tell dozens of war stories of guys, even on the streets, who thought they were tough until it hit the fan, and then they go tell the cops. So, like I said, I could see the same thing in that fat kid. He literally got on saying, "My family, they called the cops." That's what punks do, because they don't want it to show up on the DD5, a police report. They don't want to have a police report that shows that they actually filed the report, so they'll get their girlfriend to do it. It's an old trick. So no, I'm not offended. Like, you know what I mean? He's a wannabe.
That's sort of how
like in the
Gunnar
neighborhood.
Lindblom is. He did 13 years. I asked him about that too with FPS, and he just was like, the guy is just a fat penguin. You know, he's running his mouth, and they're a dime a freaking dozen. And real ones who have served real time, or at least gone into court knowing they would have had to do some time, and maybe they got the not guilty verdict or whatever. Guys who manned up and still showed up for duty don't give a shit about those types of guys.
Yeah, of course not.
And Gunner's already been proven that Gunner's done some serious time.
Yeah, he did 13, so right around the same as I Light, you know. And the reality is that these guys that are pretenders, it's very comical, you know, on many levels. You know, at least with a guy like A-Light or Borello, you know, one reason why I think A-Light went way overboard with his stories is he had those handlers on the show, and they're always telling these guys, come on, hype it up and do this. We got to get our clicks and our views. And, you know, and Gene even told me there was some of that behind the scenes with their old show. But guys like FPS or Gunsmoke, Gun Joke, it's, you know, they're just so they're worse than the guys from, remember that movie CB4, you know, from the 90s, where they pretend to be, you know, gangster rappers and the real gangster calls them out. That's what those guys are. They're a joke to guys like, you know, I-Light or Gunner or others who did some real bits.
Okay, I like to say something to what it is. Lee Cole, I saw your battling last night. You took all thems to school, kid. Let me tell you something. I like when they underestimate me and think I'm some stupid old man, because it's very easy. It's like you'll have FPS going around talking about what a great debater he is. If you look back at any time me and FPS have ever gotten into it, he has never gotten the best of me. But he'll tell that to his stooges that watch his show. But the reality is he never has gotten the best of me, and he never would get the best of me.
Yeah, he's what we would call in the neighborhood a bum. And I'm not just being derogatory. Like, we would call him a bum. Like, I'm saying, as far as like dealing with, you know, guys who have a past in like organized crime or, you know, racketeering and really making money earning. Come on, we look at this kid like a bum, which is what he is. He stands on YouTube every single day, like, come on, kid. You go to AA meetings, no disrespect to people who are really trying to recover, but like, we would look at you as the lowest level of the totem pole in the streets, even nowadays. So, like the other gentleman just said, even in the streets today, you know, we got these young guys who are, you know, want to be hip hop. They think hip hop is real and stuff like that. We laugh at those kind of guys. Like, they're just wannabes, basically. And the kid is a bum. It's just obvious.
You know, it reminds me, back in the day, the first time I was moving marijuana from California to Michigan, I was at the Greyhound station in Chicago. I had 20 pounds in my bag, and a dude came up to me trying to sell me a 20 sack, like a smoke 20 sack. And, you know, it just made me laugh on many levels, because the dude was just some street kid to me. I walked right, I said, no, thanks, bro. I got my own 20 sack, and walked away from him. But, you know, it is what it is. That's where these guys are, FPS and Gun Joke and the rest of them.
Yeah, when I first came home from...
Hey, Tony.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So, Tony, you got something you want to put in here? Because people want to hear you talk.
Well, no, I mean, you know, Nadu obviously just came out to fucking attack me again because I'm making more money than him and FPS all together. And I'm not even trying to make money. You know what I mean? It's just like... I'm being honest with people. I'm telling my story, and they see the truth and they see the fake. And Nadu is a fucking... I don't know. He's like Pugsley that got fucking kicked off the Addams Family. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a jerk off. You know what I mean? Like what the fuck did he ever do in his life? This guy has no personality. He can't kill an afternoon. You know what I mean? He's a fucking jerk off. You know what I mean? Like, and he's trying to fucking, how come there's no prison records of you? I said, how come your motherfucker didn't swallow? You know what I mean? You should have been the load your mother swallowed. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you alive? You look like a load of fucking sperm with arms and legs on a fucking chair. You know what I mean? Like, I got a video of him punching a punching bag. It was hilarious. His wig was moving. You know what I mean? Like,
well, he's training for a fight. He's supposed to be fighting somebody.
He's got to get his ass kicked.
He's fighting that. I think he's fighting that midget from Games of Thrones.
He's fighting a midget?
What?
Jeff, are you fighting a midget, dude? I think he is. I think he's fighting a midget.
Ah.
Yeah. And I think the midget wears a wig too.
Oh my God. There's definitely not
so we've had over 280 people for the last hour. So somebody wants to listen.
Well, all I know is that FBS opened the can of worms with me that he can't close. And you know, every time I take my videos down and go dark for a day, he comes out right away and says, they got him, he's gone, and he starts fucking talking shit.
He'll take credit for you being gone.
And you know, writing that we're the real Four Horsemen.
Oh yeah, we're the Four Horsemen.
Hey, I want to ask you a question. What do you think's going to happen?
Go ahead.
What do you think's going to happen with FBS if it continues this way?
Nothing. His channel to die out. Like once all of the pandemic stuff is done, if it, you know, in the near future, people will get tired of him. Maybe if he keeps it like NA based, which I know a lot of people that subscribe to him are like, you know, active NA, you know, Narcotics Anonymous participants. They might watch his stuff, but as far as
I think they can tell he's using.
Look, as far as the like, I guess poking at certain individuals, I said it on my show, and I don't mind saying it. If individuals run into him in traffic, like my people, I don't have to do anything. I actually have a crew. I don't have to physically get my hands dirty doing anything. But I know if my people see him or his little man in the streets, they're going to throw him a beating, like I said, and that's just the fact. So he has to be mindful of that. You know what I mean? That's like, you have to be very mindful when you're on YouTube or, you know, social media. Like over here in the Bronx, people do it every day. They throw guys beatings and record it. I wouldn't want to record it like me actually doing something, but he's going to get himself in trouble if he leaves that tiny bedroom and starts venturing out. So as far as that level, I see that happening to him if he ever leaves the bedroom and actually goes out there. But as far as just like YouTube, it's like he has no substance with my stuff, and he has no history dealing with it other than his dad taking him on mob sightseeing tours, as I said.
Why do you think Canarsie came down on Jimmy Calandra and FBS?
I don't know what's the deal with that kid. I've heard of him, but I don't know.
Well, he has a show, and he just basically said that he was kind of embarrassed that they have pictures of John Gotti above their head, but yet they took Jimmy Calandra's side.
That who took Jimmy Calandra's side? FBS?
Yeah, over Angel Gotti.
Well, I didn't get to finish before. The reason why he took the reason why I believe he took Calandra over Angel Gotti is because Calandra was a link to Sammy, and he figured if he can get Jimmy to turn Sammy on me, that would knock me out of the box. But what he didn't realize is that I can give two fucks if Sammy likes me or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, as much as I love Sammy, he doesn't make. I've been in this fucking street since 1997. I went to prison, came out in 2001, and been in the streets since. I lost everything in 1997 before I went in. All right, so Sammy wasn't in my life since 1990. Okay, all the way to fucking last year when he got in touch with me again on Facebook. So, you know what I mean? Like, if Sammy doesn't want to talk to me ever again, it's not going to make or break me. In his head, he thinks that's my claim to fame. It's not my claim to fame. I'm not on here to talk about gangsters. And I'm not on here to fucking hang out with rats. I'm on here to fucking tell my story.
FBS said today that you were extorting Tom.
Really?
Yeah, his exact words. He said you were extorting Tom, and Tom's scared of you, and that's why Tom's telling people not to go on his show.
Now, how the fuck can I extort a guy like Tom?
Well, that's
and
what he was saying.
Why would FBS say that? That's like, that kid is really like even though that's not true, but the kid has tattletale ways. Who goes on and says a guy's extorted another guy?
Listen to me.
Who does that? That's a real like snitch. That's snitch behavior.
It is.
That's weird.
I'm frozen.
He did say it.
I'm frozen.
You're froze?
I can't see. I am not moving.
You're frozen on your end, but we can see you.
Oh, you're good.
I'm going to tell you this. Every time there's a problem with Tom, he approaches it with me as, how can we make this go away? That's how Tom approaches it. How can we make this go away? I expected me to come out with like 7,500. When I turn around and say, what do you mean, how can you make this go away? I tell him, take your boys and get the fuck off that show over there. That's how you make it go away. Otherwise, if they keep going over there and making a fuck out of me, they're making a fuck out of you. You're the head of the snake. I got to cut the head off.
And the fat bro,
I finally think that this morning's message got to him, and he finally figured out what I was trying to say. Because when you see Vinny or Joe or Shinebox, the first thing anybody will say is the Four Horsemen.
Okay, what was
and what does that
mean?
The fat broke snitch is just jealous of Tom. Like, he, for example, like when he said that Tony dropped the N-bomb or whatever, right? He gave some type of, he went on a rant like, Tom, that looks bad for a businessman, Tom. You let Tony Pizza drop the N-bomb. However, as we published, he let on Jimmy's show, somebody called in and dropped the N-bomb, and FBS was laughing at it.
Yep.
Right? So the kid is like a real sissy. He's jealous of a guy like Tom. Like, I don't know if he thinks having that YouTube channel makes him somebody. Like, any of us who have YouTube channels, we know what type of money it brings. We don't do this for, he might, that may be the most money he's ever made. Maybe the way he acts.
No doubt, huh? I thought that too. When he was starting to get some major super chats, I'm like, damn, he's way happy for like $50. You know?
Yeah, look, in real life, Tom is way more established than him. So am I. And I wouldn't brag about it, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
Tom has way more financial security than FBS. I definitely do. I don't live off of my girlfriend or anything like that. Everything I have is my own. So, and I did 12 years in the can. So that kid, he's just a real like insecure. He's an insecure guy. So it bothers him if people are not impressed with his antics. You know, he's just like a real tattletale kind of guy, man.
Well, he's real happy now because it's Friday night,
and he's a street corner crack dealer. And no offense, but you know, I knew a few guys that worked for Freeway Rick Ross out here in Cali, and they were, even Rick Ross's underlings were typically at least mid-level traffickers running coke to Nebraska and Iowa and Illinois and states like that. The guys on the street corner, you know, hey, they made a little bit of money, but that's nothing. And I question whether he actually did that well, considering how much he gets happy over small amounts of cash.
Yeah, and JC, look at this. You can't bullshit a guy from the streets. FBS is around 40 years old, right? Give or take,
Right.
something like this. In my generation, like a guy like him, where were you selling crack at? Most of where the crack was being sold was either in, you know, mixed neighborhoods where they, you know,
Right,
had
right.
some
So the
black,
customers
Spanish.
feel comfortable enough to go in and buy it, right?
Now imagine him being in one of those neighborhoods, right? As a grown man, being a crack dealer, bro, you would stand out like a sore thumb. Nobody would put him to sell any crack. So what's more believable is he was the guy buying the crack, and I'm keeping it 100. He's even admitted he was a junkie.
Yeah,
so
and he ended up in a
believe
program. He met his woman in a program, so that says what you know, right?
Yeah, so to believe like he's in his 40s, bro, I couldn't imagine what were you selling crack in the 90s era or the 80s, bro? He would stand out like a sore thumb, being a street level crack dealer. That's just not believable.
Yeah,
A
and the
coke
big
dealer,
money
that
was
would
the
be
early
believable.
80s anyways, to the mid 80s, and even towards the early 90s even. And he would have been, what, 12 years old in 1990 or whatever? So, no, he wasn't selling when the real money was there anyways.
Well, he
Yeah,
actually did say he was selling cocaine, not crack.
yeah, that would be believable. But if he did, it's obviously at a very low level, because one thing about guys who are successful in those types of businesses, they know how to transfer those skills to legitimate businesses, and they pretty much succeed, you know, once they go straight and, you know, start doing some legitimate stuff. And you could tell that that's not that kid's situation. He lucked up and he found an insecure woman, who also struggled with addiction. They have that shared commonality, you know, of drug use, and she moved him into the house. If another guy picks her up, you know what I mean, and gets with her, he'll be kicked out of that house in a second. So that kid is just a joke. Nobody who has experience in the life on any level would take that guy serious, man.
Tony, what do
Imagine
you
him
think?
being in a
What do you
US
think about
Navy that's
what I like just said?
I think it's very true because, like, he said he spent decades on the street. I've been in the street since I'm 13. Right? What I forgot he hasn't done yet. Okay, and he's talking about he did decades in the street. He knew what not to say, who not to go around. He had to watch where he hid his stuff. You know, all this bullshit that he says comes out of a movie. Right? It's like he watches The Wire a couple times and he thinks he's got a fucking script for himself. This kid, you know, now all of a sudden he's a DJ, a famous DJ. Where the fuck did you DJ the last 2 years? There was nothing open. You know what I mean? There was nothing open in the last 2 years. So where the fuck were you DJing? You just came out a couple of months ago. A few months before I came on. So, you know, if he was in a rehab, okay, people that go into rehabs that I know, their wife, they spent their last dollar, they got no hope left, and they're going in there washed up like a fucking rag. This guy comes all out and say, the other day, I had money left over when I came home from rehab. I fucking put floors in. I painted the house. Me and my brother did this and that, because that's what we do. That's what we do. You went into a rehab with bling? You went into a rehab with money? Get the fuck out of here.
And where do you think people got this information that Jimmy killed a puppy?
Who said that?
I've only heard it in the chat. I don't know where that story came from.
What's that?
I've only heard it in the chat. I don't know where the story came from at all. But I have seen people saying that Jimmy, you know, killed a dog or something. But I mean, I'm not going to go there because unless I have proof, you know.
Said he molested a fucking special fucking girl, like a retarded girl.
Yeah, Canarsie said that he.
Yeah, Canarsie
cops
said
came
that.
out for that though, didn't they? Did the cops come out?
They did, but Canarsie said it had some handicap chick, but you know, what people say and what the actual truth is two different things.
That's
but,
true.
You know, Canarsie is pretty respected though. So do you say FBS's show equals Antifa Central?
They're
Why do you
more
think
just
FBS is
fanboys that
covering
go
up
with
his
the flow,
politics?
and FBS for sure, you know, would hate on, you know, guys that. Well, remember with his little 9/11 issue that he had, he dissed the police that saved the people in the towers or went up there and died. You know, he said the firefighters were heroes, but the cops weren't. That day, I don't care how much of a crook you were, the cops did as much as any of the firefighters, and you don't diss either of them when it comes to that. And you notice he deleted that video, yet he lectures people about what they say about America or whatever else. You know, FBS in many ways, you know, he's a leftist for sure, but he says what he thinks will get him clout at the moment. If he thinks he'll get a super chat out of it, he'll say what it takes to get it. That's how I see him.
Why do you think he hides his politics?
I wouldn't know. I would say that, you know, typically people that live off of the land, like in New York City, you know, it's considered leftist politically now. Politically, but not really on the streets. Like on the streets and the neighborhoods, I don't know about like Midtown Manhattan, you know, people like that. But, you know, in your traditional neighborhoods in New York City, most of us don't agree with the leftist politics. You know what I mean? But
especially the woke rainbow stuff, that's completely anathema to all of us. That's way. I mean, we're with Dave Chappelle when it comes to the rainbow crowd, and
yeah, right.
You know,
So those politics like don't exist with us at the table at home. It doesn't exist in my family, you know. But when you're dealing with people who live off the land a lot, you know, people who receive a lot of benefits from the government and they're heavily into that stuff. They tend to push that agenda because those are the people who they associate with. You know, like I know some very liberal Democrats as far as like dealing with business, legitimate business matters, and they, you know, they'll come at me with that type of stuff like there shouldn't be guns and what you're homophobic, and I'll be like, listen, that what you're talking about doesn't exist in my world. Take that shit to your own dinner table. Like we're not here for that. So if I was dependent upon those people for my livelihood, then I'd probably out there preaching that leftist woke bull crap too. But I don't mind to preach against it because I have no consequences by doing so. Those people don't control my livelihood. So I think a guy like him, again, especially if you're in that world of like going to NA meetings and again, yes, you subsist off of
he has a victim mentality across the board. And guys like us, like
your car's really bad, that noise. I got to keep muting you.
Guys like I like myself, Tony, you know, we don't have a victim mentality. We have a go-getter mentality. And even if you're no matter where you are economically at even any given time, I was broke after my last case. I fought the last case I had. I put 10 grand into an attorney and another 50,000 in a divorce attorney after that because I went straight to civil court. And anyone who's been in the system knows how hard that is. So, you know, you come out broke, but if you're a go-getter, you'll get it again.
You know, when I got out, okay, I was in Florida, and I live in New York. So I asked them, it was on the books, it said, you get $100 a horse when they let you out of the fucking prison, right? So if that was on the books from like 18-something, all right, now $100 on a horse would mean like $2,000 when you get out in 2001. So I said, you know, can I get some money because I'm coming out with nothing? They said, ask again, we'll lock you up. So I took my fucking, I signed my paperwork, I got my property, and I got the fuck out of there. Now, I got on a plane back to New York. Everybody's saying, how come you didn't go to a halfway house? I don't have, New York doesn't owe me a halfway house. You know what I mean? Like, they don't understand anything, these fucking retards. Now, I'm not one to go sit on a welfare line. Okay? I'm not one to go fucking look for food stamps. I'm not built like that. But, these guys are the system. They're in the system. They're in the system. All he talks about is probation, jail, drugs, trap house. He talks like a jailhouse moon cricket. Okay? And that's it. You know what I mean? Like, he thinks he's black. If he had hair on his head, it would be pubic hair. Because that's why he shaves it, he keeps it clean. Because he's an Arab. He's not fucking Italian. You could tell he's not Italian. And he wants to pick on everybody else because he's got something to hide. Keep it off me and keep it on them. Now, everything that comes out of his mouth about me is what people say to him. Get a job, you're a bum, you're this, you're that. You know what I mean? Like, he uses that psychology shit like Peter Pasta and his family used to use when Peter never had a job and I was working. You know what I mean? I'd lose a job and have a job and lose a job and have a job. Oh, look at me, can't hold a job. But, now everybody's looking at me instead of Peter because I was always in Peter's house. You know what I mean? It's a psychology game for losers. And, this kid's a loser.
Hey, Steve, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
He doesn't like the fact.
Listen, guys.
What?
I was going to cut the show off.
Why?
Because that interference is really affecting the show. The noise. It's really bad. It's really bad. I'm trying. Yeah, it's. I like to go for 20 more minutes.
All right. Well, I just wanted to finish by saying,
go for it, Tony. I'm sorry.
The politics thing. Why he doesn't bring politics in is because he's got the lefty liberals on his side that give him money when he says my chest hurts, my heart hurts, I'm not going to live long. All the bleeding heart shit that he fucking claims. Literally. And if anybody says anything manly, there's something wrong with all of us. So all these fucking people that are no sack soy boys and fucking bubble people that watch his show that are drug addicts that believe he's not on drugs when he's taking hits off that meth pipe and coming back in the room like, yeah, I'm on fire right now. Chain smoking, the whole fucking 9 yards. He can't, he changes his glasses so he can't see his eyes. You know what I mean? Like all the little antics that he pulls, it's hot in here. I got to open a window. He got up 3 times one night to open a window.
Well, it's like when it's like when you bring up the heart thing. Whenever he needs a donation, I don't know how my heart's going to be today kind of thing. But then if someone challenges him to a fight and says, oh, well, you can't do it because your health, he immediately says, no, F that. My heart's fine. I'll come at you, punk, So he exposes himself.
Yeah. He's a con man. That's it. You know what I mean?
So you don't believe his health issues?
No. If he brings up politics, he'll lose all those lefty liberals that he's got. He's definitely a leftist from fucking hell because he knows how to spin things like CNN. Okay, he knows how to spin things like CNN, and he's double standard to all ends of fucking every conversation. So for him to come after me and attack me being a homeless guy at 55, his generation is so dehumanized and left that the reason why I'm not in Manhattan no more is because it's his generation where they think and the way they go by and talk shit instead of helping out. And when you get up and smack them, they expect the cops to help them. But they're the ones that say, fuck the police, Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? So, what these assholes don't understand, like when I put the 7 Antifa guys in the hospital last fucking October, right? I got arrested because of the lefty cop that was in charge. I walked out of there with no charges. At the end of the day, it took, last May, I walked out of court with no fucking charges. because the lefty DA and the lefty judge, they didn't realize that I'm homeless and I got attacked by 7 jerk-offs, and that's a hate crime. You know, I was defending myself 7-on-1 with a weapon, and they wanted to put me under the jail with an aggravated assault charge. Well, you know, I'm a homeless guy living on that corner for 16 years, never had a problem. All of a sudden, there's a problem, and this fucking stupid cop that just became sergeant, who's like, I don't know, Arab, whatever the fuck he was, a Donald Trump hater. I had Trump signs all over my corner. Okay, I had Trump signs. I'm going to post a picture of me and my Trump signs on one of my thumbnails soon.
I like to see that.
So, you know what I mean? Like, these fucking assholes were marching by with the George Floyd bullshit, and they saw me with that huge Trump sign, and they went, whoa, stop the line, stop the line. I stood there like, what the fuck are you going to do? And they start coming at me. They went down like bowling pins. You know what I mean? You know, the one guy pulled a knife. I was fighting a guy with a knife when the cops showed up. They hemmed him up right away, and the sergeant says, no, lock him up too. So, you know, everybody went to the hospital, and I went to jail. They take that to the hospital, they put us in jail.
Hey,
A black guy does
another thing too.
Well, see, you know, with
Another
the
thing I wanna
cops,
say-
a black guy does a crime in New York City, he goes right to the hospital. They don't take him to jail. He goes to the hospital and they let him go. A white guy does a crime in New York City, he goes to jail. He gets charged. It's double standard bullshit, de Blasio bullshit. Am I wrong?
I mean, from my experience, as soon as I came out the can, you know, start. I would listen. I would 100% agree with you. I've had arguments with these people from de Blasio's office in the work field, and they'll change the definition of commonly used words, and I'm like, what's wrong with you people? You people are weirdos. Like, go ahead, man. But yeah, you're pretty much
it's the same
right.
thing.
You know?
Yep, it's the same thing Gavin Newsom does out here in California. What's his name in L.A. The mayor Garcetti. They do the same thing where they will change the definition of words depending on what case can get them political clout, and that lets you know at the end of the day that you got to be always careful about the system. Now, obviously, I recognize that we do have to have police because for catching chomos and scum like that. But at the same time, I don't just bow down to the cops at any given order either. They better be saying something that's constitutional and lawful, not this crap where they just take it on their own, or even worse, they listen to the political beliefs of whoever the mayor is, so it's or the governor. And unfortunately, in today's world, way too many people are taking these cases that should be strictly court issues, and they're turning them into political issues. And that's further dividing the people. And that's, it's messed up.
Let's check this out, guys. We just had a bunch of people try to get in here as Tom LaVecchia and Bay Eighth, but those guys show their face, and none of these people are showing their face. So that's so guys, if I don't see your face, I'm not letting you in.
And if you show your face and you're hella ugly, he ain't letting you in either.
Okay, so before we close out, A-Light, do you have anything you want to say before we close out?
You mean I-Light? No, nah.
I-Light, I'm sorry. A-Light.
Yeah,
Wow, I'm way off.
Yes, Tony was just saying, and as well as JC, on that note, like my mom moved, like she moved to a red state a couple of years ago for that very reason. I've been out there and it's totally different. Even over here, it's totally different. A lot of that stuff just exists on social media, and our everyday lives, at least in my experience, really has no validity. So I think, people should not fall into that stuff, because a lot of people have been losing friends. I've seen it over the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Falling into that, like we can agree to disagree.
I got people begging me not to end the show.
Yeah, and also, stick to enlightening stuff, and let's not try to glorify, crimes and things like that or whatever. And that's pretty much it. We could agree to disagree and stuff like that. But for the guys who are not really in the streets, man, please don't talk crap on the internet when you're not about that life. Just don't waste your time doing that. It's dumb. Because if you run into people in traffic that are really about that life, they don't care if you call the cops. Like I don't care. I do it a year on Rikers Island standing on my head. You know what I mean? But who wants to go there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
I got people telling me right now that FBS is waiting for this show to end before he replies to it.
Of course. Of course. And right now he's throwing all kinds of stuff at his wall and almost going to break his computer watching this stuff, you know?
Hey, Tony.
Yeah.
Tony, FBS is waiting for us to end this show so he can start.
That's okay. I'm gonna go live after I get off here.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go live and keep it going. You know what I mean? My people want to stay up and chat. You know, and
so you guys hear that? As soon as Tony leaves here, he's gonna start his own show up, guys. Well, I'm gonna close the show down, guys. I appreciate everything, and I'm leaving here with 260. Being I don't know Tony's gonna start a show up, please go over and go to Tony's show. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Lead Pipe Joe. I appreciate it.
And sub to Lee's channel, sub to Highlights channel, and sub to my channel.
Yeah, definitely. Angel Gotti has a new show too. You know, she's good people. I mean, let's
for sure.
Side. And happy holidays to everybody. Best wishes for your family. Just try to stay strong through the whole pandemic thing. And
check this out, guys. Bad Golfer says we have no content, but yet there's 280 people to 260 for the last hour and a half. So, Bad Golfer, go start your own show and see how easy it is. Don't you love it, A-Light, when they insult your show, but they won't start one?
Yeah, you know, we don't pay attention to a lot of these people. As I said, man, happy holidays to everybody. It was a pleasure conversing with you, gentlemen. Again, God bless your families. Happy holidays. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. And that's
I appreciate you coming on so much,
good
man.
to meet you, Highlight, and I like what you said right there. That's a perfect summary. Happy holidays, everybody. Be good to each other, and just do remember that we are still great people, no matter what we hear in our bullshit media and other stuff like that. Don't let these negative people, especially the people in the institution level, media, whatever, government, doesn't matter. Don't let them get you down. We're real people here.
Okay, guys, I'm going to close this out. I'm going to close the show with Tony.
Wait a second. Wait, guys, hold on. I see this picture.
Tony, I'm going to leave you on, Tony.
No, I want them to see this picture.
Oh, he has a picture. Okay.
All right, ciao, gentlemen.
All right.
So what's the picture, Tony?
I'll show you.
Get this guy's book right here. See that?
Oh, yeah, his book is doing really well, by the way.
Doing very well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's got Vinny on the cover.
That's right. Get Gene's book. Gene did an all right job with it. And you know what? Gene is working hard. He's got his girl. He's staying off social media like he's supposed to. And if he keeps it up, he'll do very well. He's cruising.
What's that picture you got, Tony?
I got to get the camera.
Oh, yeah, that's when you were down at in New York City.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big sign, man.
That's
They're not going to miss that one, huh?
Well, listen, people. Tony, I'll meet you over at your show, okay?
You too.
Okay, everybody.
I'll try to make a comment on there. If I'm blocked, I'll let Lee know. Okay, I don't think I am.
Okay.
Though.
Okay. Well, everybody, take care. Thank you so much. Have a nice night.
Not to block you. All right.
Okay. You guys take care, man. I appreciate all the very big crowd we had here all night. Thank you so much. And Tony, once again, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Okay. And I'll see you at your show. So you're going right on? You're going on right away?
I got to set it up.
Okay. You take care.
You too, bye.
Everybody take care. Thank you so much.